Hey guys, welcome back to English with Poise. I hope you all are having a beautiful, peaceful day. Today, I am incredibly excited because we are exploring a question that is equal parts fascinating and terrifying. If you could read people's minds, would you? To help me break this down, I have a very special guest with me today. She is a brilliant language coach, an absolute bookworm, and someone who always manages to read my mind whenever I am planning to skip a workout. Please welcome the wonderful, the witty Maya.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Leo. I am Maya, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here on English with Poise today. Though I must clarify for our listeners, I can't actually read your mind, Leo. It's just that your face completely changes whenever someone mentions the word gym.
Okay, you caught me. That is fair enough. But seriously, Maya, let's dive right into this topic because it sounds like a superpower straight out of a comic book movie. Imagine walking down a busy street, looking at a stranger and knowing exactly what they are thinking. If a scientist offered you a magic pill today that gave you this exact power, would you take it?
Oh, wow. That is a massive question to start with, Leo. At first glance, it sounds like a beautiful, glittering dream, right? You would know if your friends truly like your jokes, you would know exactly what your boss thinks of your work, and you would never have to guess what to buy someone for their birthday. But if you sit down and think about it deeply, I think it would actually turn into an absolute nightmare.
A nightmare? Come on, Maya. Think about the perks. No more secrets, no more guessing games, and absolutely no more lying. If someone tries to tell you a lie, you can catch them instantly. Wouldn't that make life so much easier?
Catching a liar definitely sounds useful, Leo, but think about the sheer volume of noise. Imagine sitting on a crowded morning bus or a packed train. There are 50 people squeezed in around you. If you were reading all their minds at the same time, your brain would literally feel like it's going to explode. It would be like standing in the middle of an electronics store with 1,000 televisions turned on to different channels at maximum volume.
Oh wow, I honestly did not think about the volume control. That is an incredibly chaotic image. You'd be sitting there trying to read a peaceful book and your brain would be shouting, "Did I turn off the stove? I hate my job. Wow, that guy's shoes are ugly. What should I cook for dinner?" You would need to wear heavy-duty earplugs just for your brain.
Exactly. You would be begging people, please, everyone, stop thinking for 5 minutes. I have a massive headache. And beyond the noise, think about your emotions. Human beings are fragile. We like to think we are strong, but we care about what others think. Imagine you walk into the office wearing a brand new jacket that you love, and you pass a colleague. Outwardly, they smile and say, "Good morning." But inside their mind, you hear, "Wow, that is the ugliest jacket I have ever seen in my life." Wouldn't that just ruin your entire week?
Ouch. Yes, that would sting. That hurts just thinking about it. But that brings up a really smart point about human psychology. Our minds are constantly generating random, bizarre thoughts every single minute. Sometimes I see someone eating a delicious ice cream cone on the street, and a random thought pops in my brain like, I want to run over and snatch that ice cream. But I'm not a criminal. I would never actually do it. It's just a silly passing thought. If that person could read my mind, they would scream and call the police instantly.
Help, police! This man is thinking about grand theft ice cream. But you are entirely right, Leo. Our minds are a private playground. We think about crazy things, angry things, or totally random things because our brains are constantly processing information. However, as civilized humans, we use a filter. We choose to only speak the thoughts that are kind, polite, and helpful. That filter is what keeps our society peaceful. If you pull back that curtain and let everyone hear everything, human relationships would collapse in an hour.
I agree 100%. Trust would completely disappear. Imagine having a nice dinner with your best friend. You're telling a story you think is hilarious, but because you can read their mind, you see they're secretly thinking, "Oh my goodness, he has told this story 4 times already. Please make him stop." It would break your heart. Sometimes a little bit of mystery and ignorance is good for keeping the peace.
Yes, as the old saying goes, ignorance is bliss. The privacy of our thoughts is a healthy boundary. By the way, listeners, did you notice the special grammar structure Leo and I have been using throughout this conversation? I just said, if you could read minds, would you? And Leo said, if that person could read my mind, they would call the police.
Ah, yes. Let's highlight that for our wonderful learners. This is our absolute favorite grammar tool to practice here on English with Poise. It's called the second conditional. We use the second conditional when we talk about imaginary scenarios, dreams, or things that are completely impossible or highly unlikely in the present or future. To build it, we use the past tense form like could, had, or wished right after the word if. Then, in the second part of the sentence, we use would followed by the base action.
Exactly. It's a fantastic way to stretch your imagination in English. Let's give our listeners another clear example. If I had the power of telepathy, I would turn it off immediately. Notice we say had instead of have and would turn instead of will turn. Let's test you, Leo. If you were forced to choose between reading minds or the ability to fly, which one would you choose?
Oh, that is an incredibly easy choice for me, Maya. If I were forced to choose, I would choose flying without a single doubt. Flying is beautiful, free, and adventurous. Reading minds is just stressful, noisy, and messy. And listeners, notice how I said if I were forced instead of if I was. In formal English, and especially within the second conditional, we use were for all subjects. If I were, if he were, if she were, if it were. It sounds incredibly elegant and grammatically precise.
It really does. It adds a lovely touch of poise to your speech. Now, let's look at the vocabulary word we used a moment ago, instantly. Leo, how would you explain instantly to our friends practicing at home?
Instantly is an adverb and it means right away, immediately, or in the blink of an eye. There is absolutely zero waiting time. For example, when you flip a light switch, the room becomes bright instantly.
Perfect definition. And the opposite of instantly would be words like slowly or gradually. We always tell our students that learning a language is a gradual process. It takes time, and that is a beautiful thing. If we could all speak perfect English instantly just by wishing for it, we wouldn't have the joy of recording this podcast together, and we wouldn't be connecting with this amazing community.
That is so true, Maya. The struggle and the milestones are what make the journey rewarding. Speaking of words, let's look at the action word read. This is a famously tricky word for beginners because it's an irregular verb. Maya, can you explain the strange mystery of the verb read?
Oh, the verb read is a classic English trap. The spelling stays exactly the same in the present tense and the past tense, R-E-A-D. However, the pronunciation changes completely depending on when the action happened. In the present tense, we pronounce it like read. For example, I love to read books every morning. But in the past tense, we pronounce it exactly like the color red. For example, yesterday I read a fascinating article about psychology.
Let's say them side by side so everyone can hear the acoustic difference clearly. Present tense, today I read. Past tense, yesterday I read.
Brilliant. Practicing those subtle shifts out loud at home is the ultimate secret to developing a natural, confident British or American accent.
Absolutely. Now, Maya, let's pivot our topic slightly because it's getting interesting. What if the superpower was restricted? What if you couldn't read human minds, but you could read the minds of animals? Would you accept the power then?
Oh, wow. Now that is a power I would pay good money for. Yes, 1,000 times yes. I would absolutely love to read the mind of my cat Luna. I always look at her and wonder what is going on behind those giant green eyes.
Well, knowing cats, if you read Luna's mind, she's probably just looking at you and thinking, why is this human staring at me? Go fetch my food, lazy servant. It might actually hurt your pride more than reading a human mind.
You're probably right. Cats definitely think they own the house, and we're just their landlords who pay the rent in salmon treats. But dogs, on the other hand, would be so pure. A dog's mind is probably just a continuous loop of, I love you. Look, a leaf. I love you. Is that a banana? I love you. It would be so refreshing compared to human minds, which are constantly filled with complex worries, corporate stress, and tomorrow's schedules.
That is a very profound point, Maya. Human minds are incredibly crowded, anxious places. We spend so much time regretting things we did 5 years ago or stressing over things that might happen 3 years from now. If we could read minds, we wouldn't just be gathering facts, we would be absorbing everyone else's collective anxiety. We have enough of our own mental traffic to manage. We don't need to inherit the traffic of the entire neighborhood.
Exactly. Learning how to navigate and understand our own thoughts is a lifetime of hard work. And the real magic of human life is that we can't read minds. Because we can't see inside each other's heads, we have to talk. We have to ask questions, listen closely to the tone of voice, watch for a warm smile, and look into each other's eyes. That active effort is what creates a genuine, deep bridge of connection between two human beings.
Wow, Maya, that is absolutely beautiful. You hit the nail right on the head. If we could just download someone's thoughts instantly, we would lose the art of conversation. We would lose the vulnerability, the surprise, and the joy of truly getting to know someone step by step. And honestly, that is exactly why we love language learning. When our students practice English, the ultimate reward isn't just passing a test. It's that incredible moment when they use their new vocabulary to successfully share a piece of their mind with someone from across the world.
I completely agree, Leo. That feeling of breaking a language barrier through effort and patience is a million times better than any magical superpower. Now, if you at home are enjoying this fascinating conversation and learning how to express your big, imaginative ideas using simple, elegant English grammar, please take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to English with Poise right now.
Yes, please hit that beautiful red subscribe button and click the little bell icon. It takes just a second, but it deeply helps our channel grow, and it lets us know that you want more engaging, educational podcast episodes just like this one.
It truly does. Now, Leo, let's hand the microphone over to our wonderful audience and give them a question for the comment section.
Fantastic idea. To everyone listening at home or on your commute, if you were given the choice to read minds for just one single day, would you say yes or no? And what is your primary reason?
Please drop your answers in the comment section below using simple, clear English sentences. Try to use our STAR rule, the second conditional. For example, you could write, "If I could read minds for a day, I would say no because I value my peace of mind." Or, "If I had this power, I would use it to see what my puppy thinks about me."
Yes, please use this as a safe space to practice your writing skills. Maya and I read through your comments, we drop likes, and we love correcting small grammar slip-ups gently to help you improve.
Well, today was an incredible amount of fun, Leo. It makes me very glad that our thoughts are safely locked away in our own heads. Otherwise, you would know that I'm secretly planning to steal the leftover cookies in the studio kitchen.
Wait, what? There are leftover cookies? See, I didn't need mind reading for that, just your confession. Thank you so much for your brilliant insights today, Maya, and a massive thank you to our incredible listeners for spending their valuable time with us today on English with Poise.
Thank you, Leo, and thank you, everyone. You are all doing a magnificent job by prioritizing your English practice every single week. Keep growing, keep speaking, and keep smiling.
Absolutely. Relax, breathe, and enjoy the learning journey. We will see you in the very next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.